RetroAffaire.com.
Hello everyone, so today after the video about the 35th anniversary for the Sega Game Gear and the 36th anniversary for the Atari Lynx, we have today the Neo Geo Pocket, released in the 28th of October 1998, so exactly 27 years ago. Not as old as the Game Gear and the Atari Lynx, so we are almost 10 years after the first Game Boy. The Neo Geo Pocket is a handheld from SNK. SNK is a Japanese company founded in 1978, famous for many great masterpiece arcade games such as Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury, Samurai Shodown, King of Fighters, Metal Slug, and many others. And famous also for the Neo Geo home console, the Advanced Entertainment System, which was the home version of the multi-video system. That was basically the same kind of hardware but for arcades. We're talking about a handheld that was quite of a niche from a company, SNK, very popular for the arcades, and the first version here that I'm showing was in black and white. 10 years after the Game Boy, SNK learned the lessons from the Sega Game Gear and the Atari Lynx and the amount of batteries required to power those colored backlit screen. And with just two small AAAs, you could use the Neo Geo Pocket for a very long time. Here, as you can see, I had to switch on the light because it's otherwise very difficult to see the screen. It's very clear though, it's a very good sharp screen, even without the backlight, unlike the Game Boy. But soon after, not even 1 year, so in March 1999, SNK released the Neo Geo Pocket Color, adding a lot of depth in the gameplay, still non-backlit screen, but much better. But before getting to the Neo Geo Pocket Color, I want to show you the King of Fighters R1. It was a launch title for the Neo Geo Pocket, and it's based loosely on the King of Fighters 97, sharing the same kind of storyline. Here, I think it showcases very well from the beginning the expectations of this handheld, meaning that there are many arcades, IPs and conversions from SNK of their amazing arcade libraries. They are not just a scaled down version, but reinterpreted for the device, so that, you know, the gameplay fits completely the fact that you only have two buttons. The graphics, also the sprites, are a good fit for the handheld, so it's not trying to be what is not. It's not trying to give you a halfway arcade kind of experience, similar to what happened, for example, on Mortal Kombat on the Sega Game Gear or the Street Fighter 2 on the Game Boy. And this is the Neo Geo Pocket Color, classic silver version. As you can see, it's bigger than the Neo Geo Pocket and also thicker, but obviously the most important upgrades is the colored screen. And now it uses, as you can see, two AA batteries instead of two AAA batteries. One of the interesting features is that when you switch it on, even without games, it has some basic applications such as a calendar, horoscope even, that you can use even without games. Also on the Neo Geo Pocket Color, it asks if you want to have a black and white or gray or green, red, blue palette for the games that were originally made just for the Neo Geo Pocket. As you can see, we have the calendar, the word time, alarm, horoscope. Okay, showing some games. Let's start from Sonic. It's a really great Sonic. As usual, I want to show you the manuals because I really love this period where you could buy something physical and it came with manuals, not only manuals, but very good manuals with great information, printed in colors, illustrations. It added just so much to the experience. It's a bit weird to see Sega and Sonic on a different platform in 1999. But this is a great game. It's a Sonic Pocket Adventure released in 1999. And one really interesting feature of the Neo Geo Pocket is the joystick that has clicks, switch clicks. Now I'm using the Neo Geo Pocket Color adapter on the Analogue Pocket. It's such a great experience. As you can see, the screen is so crisp, and I'm going through different display options. So you can use the old grayscale of the Neo Geo Pocket or different color palette for the Neo Geo Pocket Colors that simulates the real look and feel of the screen. One of my favorite game for the platform, the Match of the Millennium, which is Capcom versus NSK, where you can find all the main characters from fighting games of SNK and the fighting games of Capcom. This intro, it's very interesting because it has two different introductions, of the game. This is the part from SNK with the SNK characters mainly. Here, obviously, I'm choosing Ryu, my favorite character from Street Fighter, and we are in Osaka, Dotonbori. And again, you can see how smooth and great is the gameplay and the graphic and the color palette. It's all very well made. It's really a great platform. You don't only have arcades IPs in your pocket, but they are really adapted to it. And this is the introduction from the Capcom side, and you see Ryu at the end, the same animation and illustration that was in the arcade with Super Street Fighter 2. Showing some more games from my collection now. The Neo Geo Cup 98, the only football game on the platform. It's not great. It's for the original black and white. Baseball Stars Color, an okay game. King of Fighters R2, which is the follow-up from R1 and in color. Neo Turf Masters, the conversion of the great arcade game, the golf game. Samurai Shodown 2, another very fun arcade fighting game. Pac-Man, this, as you can see, has a different packaging. I love the Neo Geo Pocket packaging, by the way, of the games. This one is cardboard from Japan. Metal Slug First Mission. For some reasons it comes with 3 different manuals. Today we don't even get one, and back in the day there were 3. This is a fun game. It's again a very smart conversion of the arcade. They are not trying to give you the whole arcade experience. They are just trying to replicate the gameplay but adapting it to the platform in a very effective way. There's also a second mission, so another game that I don't have. This is more accessible in terms of price. The second one is more expensive, and I never found a good deal for that. But I'm quite happy with this first mission. As you can see, the gameplay is very similar to the arcade, a scaled down version graphically, obviously, but still with very nice detail. Puzzle Bobble Mini, and of course I have to show you the nice and cute manual as well. Again, classic SNK game, very good conversion for this. I played a lot back in the day. It's so simple, but fun. The first level gives you also, an introduction showing you the trajectory where you are going to shoot the colored ball. From the second stage on, you are on your own. It's all a guess. And in fact, here I mistake. This is Dark Arms. It's a very interesting kind of RPG game, very dark, well, from the name Dark Arms, but also dark in terms of, graphic and mood. There's a very nice nightmarish atmosphere. Look at the beautiful introduction to the game. But it's interesting to notice the full title of this game, which is Dark Arms Beastbuster. Because Beastbusters was another game, another arcade from SNK from 1989. It was a horror rail shooter, but the particular part is that it was a fully 2D, so all sprites or 2D sprites instead of the later The House of the Dead from Sega, which is obviously 3D, or the later Resident Evil, the shooter versions. This was the first, probably the first horror game on rails, shooting games. And then they followed up with Dark Arms Beastbusters from 1999, which is a RPG. There was even Beastbusters Second Nightmare from 1998. Okay, and now, as usual, some photographs. The Neo Geo Pocket and Pocket Color is, in my opinion, a great platform. Very fun games. Today you can play it on modded LCD Neo Geo Pockets. I don't have any, I know, shocking. But you can play it with an adapter on the Analogue Pocket, as I shown, or even easier, you can buy several compilations that were released for the Nintendo Switch, or individual games I think are also available on the store. So you don't have really any excuse to rediscover this great platform. It wasn't very successful, especially in Europe. I wasn't even aware of its existence in 1999. I've never seen one until much later on, when I started collecting different platforms than the one I knew already. So highly recommended. Thank you for watching. Consider, subscribing, liking and everything as usual. Don't forget to visit RetroAffaire.com, where I publish more in-depth blogs, articles and information. Thank you.